We're not just fighting an epidemic, we're fighting an infodemic. This famous quote from WHO Director General has been widely shared. So what is an infodemic? An infodemic is an excessive amount of information about a problem, making it difficult to identify a solution. During a health emergency, an infodemic can drown out reliable information and allow rumors to spread more easily, impeding an effective public health response. Why is it happening now? Information can spread faster than a virus. With rapid growth of digital communications and social media platforms, information spreads fast from online to our physical lives. And how does it affect us?
Today, I'm going to share with you something very disturbing and something that's been happening for a very, very, very long time. To my Gen X crowd and my baby boomer crowd and maybe even some of the older millennials, you may not understand this because platforms like Facebook and Twitter, while they are heavily censored, they don't even come close to what the younger generation uses. Instagram and Snapchat are leftist hotbeds of propaganda. And there's already censorship going on. But the WHO, which we're not even in anymore, and the UN are trying to ramp up their efforts. This is truly disturbing stuff. The WHO is holding its first infodemiology conference to help stop misinformation. They're calling it an infodemic, namely any information that they do not agree with. And we all know how reliable the WHO is at stopping things like the coronavirus, which is really their fault, but somehow they've convinced us all that it's America's fault. An infodemic cannot be eliminated, they say, but it can be managed. To respond effectively to infodemics, the WHO calls for adaptation, development, validation, and evaluation of new evidence-based measures and practices to prevent, detect, and respond to mis and disinformation. That sounds Orwellian to me. And the sad thing is, this isn't new. This is already happening. To my people under 30 that are watching this, you understand, if you use Instagram or Snapchat, you will see posts by your friends or people you follow that are already flagged as being false or untrue. Just memes, just regular things that people share. Even validated articles, and I'll throw some examples up for you, are labeled as false, and you have to click past the screen twice to even view them. Well, it looks like they're ramping up their steps to try and implement their Orwellian control. Things like the Trusted News Initiative, or TNI, that say they're going to step up to the global fight against disinformation with new focus on the U.S. presidential election. That's very scary. They're going to step up and show you what's right and what's wrong. Who are they, though? Who are they? Well, it's the UN, and we all know how trustworthy they are. And like I said earlier, it's the WHO, the same folks who brought you the coronavirus. This is very sick stuff. I'm going to read some of this article for you right now, and I want you to listen to these words with your eyes closed and think about what they really mean. International partnership of major news and tech organizations, like CNN, HuffPo, Twitter, all those wonderful guys. They're going to build on successful cooperation to date and share alerts over dangerous misinformation during the U.S. election. Like Russian collusion? Like that whole hoax? No, it won't be stuff like that. It'll be misinformation against President Trump and against conservatives. TNI also announces plans to engage with Project Origin verification technology, which will tag content in order to identify when it has been manipulated. This is already happening. Like I said earlier, if you're over the age of 30 and if you don't use Instagram or Snapchat, you wouldn't know. But I know. This has been happening for the past, I'd say, year to 6 months. If you go on Instagram and you try to view people's stories or try to view people's posts, there will be flags and gray filters over them that you have to click by, saying that the post is misinformation, that you should not view it. These people want control, and they want it now, and they're ramping up their efforts. The Trusted News Initiative is extending the scope and ambition of its groundbreaking collaboration to tackle the most dangerous disinformation worldwide. What does that mean? Who gets to decide whether it's dangerous or not? Well, the left does. It's certainly not the right. You don't have a choice anymore about what you view or how you view it. They get to choose it for you because they're the arbiters of what's true and what's not. They're the arbiters of what's false and what's wrong, and the only things that are good are socialist policies and the wonderful world of communism they want to bring to the United States. Earlier this month, I said I was going to have a hard time voting for Trump and that I said I wasn't going to be able to do it. I'm going to rescind that statement right now. Love Trump or hate Trump, Trump is the only speed bump between them and our country becoming Venezuela. He's the only thing stopping. He's the only thing stopping it. He's the only dam to the leftist flood. He pulled us out of the WHO. Thank God. The WHO, like I said earlier, brought us the coronavirus. They literally brought us the coronavirus. And now it's Trump's fault. See? I'm sure that if that was a story on Instagram or Snapchat or Twitter or YouTube, that would be fact-checked immediately as false, even though it's admittedly true. They let this thing rage out of control. You can't trust these people with your information. You can't trust these people with facts. They don't understand facts. They only understand leftist dogma. They only understand Marxism. This is what we're facing today, and it's not okay. I urge you, if you're not on Instagram, to go and create an account, to go and view conservative content and see how much of it gets flagged already without this TNI initiative, without the WHO's Infodemiology conference. It's only going to get worse, and it's only going to get more severe. We are entering the world of 1984. That's why I started the Dr. Silence Project. We're being silenced online, and it's not okay. It's time to stand up to these people. It's time for this to stop. Listen to this quote from the article. Tony Hall, Director General of the BBC, says, "Disinformation is one of today's great harms. It can undermine democracy, create division, and distort public debate. Tackling it is a pressing priority." That's why it's so vital that the TNI is successful. It has a remarkable start, and I'm pleased more organizations are joining the fight against disinformation. In a world of increasing division, working together is the best way to deliver results. Some people have tried to turn the term mainstream media into a form of abuse to undermine credibility. But we are on the public side and will fight tirelessly to get high-quality journalism to as many people as possible. This is literally the mainstream media. They're admitting that they're the mainstream media. They don't like new media because anyone can get a microphone and a camera and speak their mind and show them the truth. They don't like new media because it's not controlled by the oligarchs that run everything. That's why they don't like new media, and that's why they're trying to censor it. Because the dinosaur media is dying and has been dying for a very long time. And the only way for these people to save their industry is to eliminate the competition. Competition isn't good for their business. It isn't good to have alternative thought in their business. It's only good to read off the teleprompter and to say the milquetoast talking points that gradually lead us to communism. That's what they want. Do you want that? I don't think so. Again, if you're Gen X or you're a late millennial or you're a baby boomer, you may not understand the gravity of the situation because you're not on these younger youth platforms. Like Snapchat, for example. It's way worse than Instagram, and I don't know anyone over the age of 25 that uses Snapchat. Snapchat pushes leftist stories to the top of your news feed. The only right-wing person on there is Ben Shapiro, who rarely pops up anyway. Control the youth, and you control the future. That is these people's plan. It is a Nazi plan. It is a socialist plan. It is a communist plan. It is an authoritative. It is an authoritarian plan. This is what they want. Speaking about Project Origin, Eric Horowitz, Chief Scientific Officer for Microsoft, says, "We forged a close relationship with the BBC and other partners on Project Origin, aimed at methods and standards for end-to-end authentication of news and information. Microsoft gets to control what you know. The New York Times gets to control what you know. And if you don't agree with them, you get banned. Your content is silenced because you're an enemy of the state." Isn't that nice? Like I said, love Trump or hate Trump. He's the only speed bump between you and these people. And I've just now realized that. I'm Rex Jones with Dr. Silence.